Well, good morning, everyone. This year we will celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. And I don't think that this country would have lasted nearly this long had it not been for the Constitution. The original government under the Articles of Confederation was weak and unsustainable. And so the Constitution was necessary to provide a strong federal government while preserving states' rights. And whether you think that the president and Congress are wonderful or horrible or somewhere in between, this is still the greatest nation in the world, thanks in large part to the Constitution. But the Constitution is not flawless. Within 2 years of its ratification, it was updated and improved with the Bill of Rights. And since that time, 17 other amendments have been added to it. And none of those amendments sought to abolish the Constitution. They sought to update it and improve it. And this concept of taking something that is good and making it better is not a uniquely American idea. We see Jesus doing this in the gospel passage that we just heard. Jesus says, "I have not come to abolish, but to fulfill the law and the prophets." He came to update the law. He came to improve the law. And he goes on to give examples of how he updates the law. He uses this pattern of, "You have heard that it was said, but I say to you." He does that 4 times throughout this gospel passage. And he is not saying, "You've heard that it was said down at the barber shop." No, he says, "You have heard that it was said in the Torah. You have heard that it was said by God." And when he says, "But I say to you," he is not replacing that which God said in the Torah. He is updating it. He is improving it. He is going deeper with it. And who can do that with the Word of God? Only God can do that. And thus, the divinity of Jesus is revealed. But what was wrong with the law, with the commandments to begin with? There's really nothing wrong with it. Not killing, not committing adultery, those are good things. But they represent the bare minimum. If I am examining my conscience at the end of the day and I look back and I say, "Well, I didn't kill anyone today. I didn't commit adultery. I'm doing great. Good for me." Well, I may not be looking deep enough. And Jesus tells us that it is not enough to simply not kill, to simply not commit adultery. He asks, what are the things that cause a person to kill or to harm another person? Anger, jealousy, resentment. What could lead a person to commit adultery? Lust, self-centeredness, objectification of another person. Jesus tells us that these are the things that we must root out of our lives. But if you are a person who struggles with these or other sins, that's easier said than done. Now, in the first reading, Sirach really leans into freedom of choice, or free will. We have the freedom to choose good or evil, to choose sin or virtue. This past week, I was listening to a reflection from Jeff Cavins, the biblical scholar. And in it, he quoted a sign that he saw outside of a church some years ago. And the sign said, "Life has many choices. Eternity has 2. And all of the choices that we make throughout this life lead us toward one or the other of those choices for eternity. If we choose sin, if we choose evil, we choose the consequences that go with that. And if we choose good, we choose virtue, we choose the blessings that go with that. But again, if you struggle with a particular sin, you might need some help in making that choice and choosing virtue over the sin. And you can find that help in Jesus. Seek him in the sacrament of reconciliation and ask him every day, maybe several times during the day, to relieve you of the burden of that sin. And when you persist in that prayer, he will come through for you. And I know this from personal experience. And so this morning, as we gather in this holy place to praise and worship God, to share in this most sacred meal, let us not hesitate to put our trust in Jesus. Jesus, who came to fulfill the law, to improve the law, to update the law. Let us ask for his guidance as we examine our conscience and go deeper in that examination. And let us rejoice in the forgiveness he offers us through the sacrament of reconciliation, and let us ask him to lead us as we choose virtue over sin, good over evil, today and every day.